Lily and the Lost Bear Cub. A short story. Lily stood in her garden feeling the anticipation build in her chest. The late afternoon sun bathed everything in a warm golden glow, but her thoughts were on the magical world that awaited her. It had been 3 weeks since her last visit to the magical forest and she missed it dearly. The vibrant colors, the strange and wonderful creatures, and the friends she had made there. In her hand, she clutched a small gem, its surface smooth and cool. It sparkled in the sunlight, its iridescent colors shifting as she turned it between her fingers. The gem had a special power. When pressed against the bark of the old oak tree at the end of her garden, it opened a portal to the magical forest. Taking a deep breath, Lily walked over to the tree. The oak was old, its bark thick and gnarled, its branches reaching high into the sky. She pressed the gem to the tree's bark, and as always, a warm, golden light began to emanate from it. The light grew brighter, spreading across the bark until the tree itself seemed to be glowing from within. With a soft whoosh, the bark rippled, revealing a large black door. Lily felt a familiar sense of excitement and wonder. Without hesitation, she stepped through the portal. The moment she entered the magical forest, she was enveloped by its beauty. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of distant waterfalls created a soothing backdrop. Trees towered above her, their leaves a dazzling array of colors, as if every season had come to life at once. The ground was carpeted with soft, velvety moss, and tiny glowing lights flitted between the trees like dancing fireflies. "Lily!" a voice called out high and musical. Lily turned to see Flora, a fairy in a shimmering green dress, fluttering towards her. Flora's wings sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight, and her dress seemed to flow like water as she moved. "Flora!" Lily cried, her heart lifting at the sight of her friend. She ran towards the tiny fairy, who flew into her arms with a laugh. "It's so good to see you," Flora said, her voice full of joy. "We've missed you so much. Alara's been asking about you every week." "I've missed you all too," Lily replied, grinning. "I can't wait to see Alara again. Is she nearby?" Flora nodded, her wings fluttering with excitement. "She's by the crystal lake, sunning herself. She'll be thrilled to see you." As they began to walk through the forest, catching up on all that had happened during Lily's absence, the familiar sense of belonging washed over her. The magical forest had a way of making her feel completely at ease, as if this was where she truly belonged. They followed a winding path that led through a dense grove of trees, the sunlight filtering through the leaves in dappled patterns. Flora chattered excitedly about the latest happenings in the forest, including a new colony of talking squirrels who had moved into the treetops and the return of the migrating rainbow birds whose songs filled the air with music. As they walked, Lily suddenly stopped in her tracks. There, sitting in the middle of the path further ahead, was a small bear cub. Its fur was a soft chocolate brown, and its eyes were wide and a little bit teary. It made a loud noise, and its eyes welled up as Lily cautiously moved closer. The cub looked up at Lily, its tiny nose twitching as it sniffed the air. "Oh, you poor thing," Lily said softly, kneeling down to the cub's level. She extended her hand slowly, letting the cub sniff her fingers. "Are you lost?" The bear cub let out a soft whimper and nuzzled its head against Lily's hand. It was clear the little creature was frightened and alone. Flora fluttered closer, her expression one of concern. "This must be Benny. He's always wandering out of the bear sanctuary to explore. His parents sent word out about him being missing this morning. They must be so worried." Lily had planned to see Alara the unicorn at the Crystal Lake, but she couldn't leave this baby bear on his own. She was sure Alara would understand. "We have to help Benny find his way back home," Lily said, determined. She gently scooped Benny up into her arms. The cub snuggled against her, his tiny paws clinging to her as if she were his lifeline. With Flora guiding them, they set off through the forest, searching for the bear sanctuary and looking around for any bears on the way. Their first stop was the Celestial Grove, a beautiful clearing where the trees had silver leaves that shimmered in the sunlight. It was also home to the star foxes, rare blue foxes that could change into pixie dust and join the stars in the sky. But although the grove was peaceful and beautiful, there were no other bears in sight. Next, they visited the Enchanted Moors, a place filled with towering ancient trees and vibrant flowers that sang softly when the wind blew through them, and small streams running by. Lily marveled at the beauty around her, but there was no sign of Benny's family. Finally, they ventured to the moonlit meadows, a vast expanse of soft grass that glowed with a pale silvery light. The meadow was quiet and serene, but it was also empty of bears. Benny whimpered softly, his eyes filled with worry. Lily held him close, whispering soothing words. "Don't worry, Benny, we'll find your family, I promise." They continued deeper into the forest, the trees growing taller and the air warmer. The path became narrower, and the sounds of the forest grew softer, more distant. Lily's heart began to race with anticipation. Finally, they reached a secluded clearing surrounded by towering pines. The air was crisp and fresh, filled with the scent of pine needles and earth. There was a huge river which ran smoothly, and across the river were many caves. "This is it," Flora whispered. "The bear's sanctuary." Lily's heart skipped a beat as she saw a large bear emerge from the shadows, its fur dark and thick, its eyes warm and gentle. Another bear, slightly smaller but just as imposing, appeared behind it. When they saw Benny in Lily's arms, their eyes lit up with relief and joy. "Benny!" the larger bear called out, its voice deep and soothing. Benny squirmed in Lily's arms, eager to be reunited with his family. Lily gently set him down, and the cub bounded over to his parents, nuzzling into their fur with happy little grunts. The bear family embraced, their love for each other palpable. Then the mother bear turned to Lily, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you so much, Lily. Benny has a habit of wandering off, and we were so worried." "I'm just glad we found you," Lily said, her heart swelling with happiness. "He's a cute little cub." The bears invited Lily and Flora to stay for dinner as a thank you. They gathered around a warm, crackling fire where the bears prepared a meal of roasted fish glazed in honey. The rich, savory scent filled the air, making Lily's stomach rumble with anticipation. As they ate, Lily savored the sweet, delicate flavor of the honey-glazed fish. It was unlike anything she had ever tasted, the perfect blend of savory and sweet. Flora nibbled on tiny morsels, her wings fluttering with contentment. They spent the evening in the cozy warmth of the bear's sanctuary, sharing stories and laughter. Benny, now safely back with his family, played nearby, tumbling through the soft grass and trying to catch a butterfly. Lily couldn't help but laugh at his antics, feeling a deep sense of joy. As the sun began to set, casting the sky in hues of pink, orange, and gold, Lily knew it was time to go. She stood up, brushing grass from her trousers, and she walked over to Benny. "Goodbye, Benny," she said, kneeling down to give the cub a gentle hug. "Try not to get lost again, okay?" Benny nuzzled into her one last time, his eyes full of affection and gratitude. He let out a happy little grunt before returning to his family. Lily waved to the bears and Flora, promising to come back soon. With a final glance at the tranquil sanctuary, she began her journey back through the forest. The colors around her shimmered in the fading light, and she felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. When she reached the oak tree, she took out her gem and pressed it to the bark. The familiar golden light spread across the tree, and the portal back to her garden opened. With a smile, she stepped through, leaving the magical forest behind. Back in her garden, the evening air was cool and refreshing. The first stars were just beginning to twinkle in the sky, and the sounds of the forest were replaced by the distant hum of the neighborhood. Lily knew her mother was going to call her inside at any moment, so she quickly dashed inside, heading straight to her bedroom to carefully place her magical gem inside its special box. Then Lily headed straight for the bathroom to take a hot shower. The warm water washed away the scent of roasted fish and honey, leaving her feeling clean and refreshed. She dried off, pulled on her pajamas, and went downstairs to greet her mother. "I'm back from the garden, Mum." "I heard you come in," her mother replied. "Did you have fun out there?" "Yes, Mum." "Do you want anything before bed?" "No thank you, Mum." Lily's tummy was still full of tasty honey-glazed fish. "I'm not hungry." "Well, off to bed you go then," Lily nodded and stood. "Good night, Mom." As she crawled into bed, the day's adventure replayed in her mind. She thought about Benny, safe and happy with his family, and how the magical forest had once again welcomed her with open arms. Lily smiled as she drifted off to sleep, her heart full of contentment. Benny had made it home, and so had she. Thank you for listening to my short story. There will be more to come. My name is Makala Thomas, and you can follow me at Miss Kelz 90.